Good morning, yogis. Welcome to our meditation this morning. It's Kelly here, and I am so grateful to be spending this time with you. Let's start first with an immense gratitude for your dedication to your practice, to the source that has inspired you to come onto your mat so early in the morning to align your body, your breath, and your movement. So start with true gratitude for this source that has brought you here. And then for our intention for our meditation today, I would like to dedicate our practice to someone else. So keep it simple, first person that comes to mind. It doesn't have to be someone you know. It doesn't have to be who you ought to dedicate your practice to, but whatever comes naturally. Can you bring the face of a loved one to the forefront of your mind? And we start with palms pressed together to touch. Find a comfortable seat to spend this next hour with one another. Close the eyes, broaden the shoulders, sit up nice and tall. See the face of that loved one before you. How tall are they as they stand in front of you and you give them a scan from head to toe? Wish them well. Thank them for the inspiration that they gave you to make it onto the mat today. Remember their laugh, their smile, the color of their eyes. Imagine giving them a hug as you wrap your arms around your loved one and lift your hands up to your forehead. Take a breath in. As you exhale, bow to your practice. Still folding, head drops down towards the lap. 3, 2, and 1. Sitting up tall, hands can rest on your laps. As you feel that cleanse that setting your intention might give you, we are set up for success. We're ready to get the ball rolling. You're going to need a chair today for practice. If at any time you need to recline, take a breath out, lean back. When you're ready to work on your core, you're going to inhale, sit up nice and tall, or even come onto the edge of your chair so that you're working on your tight core this whole time. This is yogi's choice. Do you need a little bit more back support today? And then you may have noticed that I have my chakra chart here today. We are going to be cleansing our chakras through. As you may notice, the root chakra, our red chakra down at the bottom, is typically where we start. When we cleanse ourselves, we start with our feet, our root, and we go up this magical rainbow to the top of our head. But today we are going to be focusing on our crown chakra and working our way down. Crown chakra to our third eye to our throat to our heart to our solar plexus to our sacral chakra, and finally down to our root. So let's take a new perspective, starting head to toe instead of toe to head. And as you start to focus on the top of your crown for class today, also take into account your temperature this morning. Have you been warmer? Have you been cooler these past few days? And taking care of everything in the crown department, do you have all of the creature comforts that you would like for practice today? This means removing any distractions to the best that you can. So any audible distractions that you might have, put on a pair of headphones if you're sharing space with a loved one, or if you need to make this part of your morning ritual, me too. So grab your creature comforts, your coffee, your water, and meet me with the soles of your feet firmly planted onto the floor. Cheers, welcome to practice. Turn your palms face up. Once the hands rest on the lap, lean back. Little tuck of your chin. As you imagine you are a marionette, there's a cord that is attached to the top of your head. Someone like that loved one you were visualizing earlier is pulling that thread, lifting your head to its tall, tall point. If you're unsure, take a breath out and slouch. Close your eyes. Breathe in, lean back, and imagine that cord. Exhale, relax. On the inhale, breath in, pull at the top of your cord. As you exhale, relax. Inhale, cord pulls, chest pulls open. Exhale, collapse. Breath in, sit up tall, crown of the head high. As you exhale, relax, shrug, and let go. Last one, nice and dramatic. Breath in, sit up tall, puff up the chest. As you exhale, you'll collapse. Head will drop down to the thighs. Let your hands rest. Knees are stacked over your ankles. Take a forward fold. Deep breath in and out through the nose. We sit up nice and tall, back to our seat, back to the top of our crown. Go ahead and focus on the right ear to start. As you exhale, drop your ear down to one shoulder and hold. Back to center, we breathe in. Exhales to switch sides. When we start with the crown of the head and with our third eye, we're focusing on our source of creativity and our intuition. Go ahead, lift your head back to center. We activated our intuition and our creativity this morning when you visualized a loved one that came to the forefront of your mind. I think many of us have the misconception that creativity means sewing, cooking, quilting, or creating something tangible with your hands. But we must have a new understanding of creativity, which is that creativity is activating something that you're making with your mind. As you exercise visualizing things, that's a great way to be creative. When you saw your loved one standing in front of you and you saw perhaps what they were wearing, what their laugh sounded like, the last time that you got to see them and hug them in person, that's activating everything up here, which is a great turning point to our third eye. Our third eye in Sanskrit, it's achna, right between the eyebrows. Go ahead and take fingers on your dominant hand. So take that hand, press right into the center of the forehead, just light pressure, and notice if there's any pain. If you're pain-free, be grateful that you've noticed. And if you're feeling a bit of tension, then I suggest a bit more massage at the front of the head today. So if this is tight and tender for you, you might naturally move your fingertips over to the eyebrows, or maybe you'll pause the video to wash your hands and then fully give yourself a frontal lobe massage. See that the sinuses feel okay. Light pressure once more. You'll take those fingertips, press them in to the third eye. Sit up tall. Again, take a press. And open mouth. Exhale. Palms can return to the tops of your thighs. Chin rounds in towards the chest. You're still sitting up tall. Look down at the floor. Try to keep breathing in and out through your nose if you are able to this morning, but the mouth is just fine. Just a bit deeper, let the head go. 3, 2. And 1. Lift the head, keep lifting, chin rolls up towards the sky. Open the front line of your throat, relax through your shoulders. Again, you'll practice collapsing, so you'll drop your chin in towards the chest, exhale, and drop the head. Imagine a cord at the tip of your chin. Inhale to lift you up, chin sprouts tall to the sky. As you exhale, head drops, shrug, let go. Inhale, chin lifts, throat opens. As you exhale, chin drops. We take one more really deep expression. Inhale, throat opens. As you exhale, chin rounds, look down. 3, 2, and 1. Sitting up nice and tall. Go ahead and take your palms, turn them inside out, push them away from you. So push your hands towards the camera and take some freeform movement. No wrong way to do this. I like to turn to the left, to the right. We will take a few standing breaks in class today. If you are able-bodied and able to stand, we do so on the inhale. Breath in to come up tall and sweep the arms overhead, press the hips forward, and we use our exhales to take a seat. If your body is telling you to get up, be proud that your third eye is intuitive and has noticed that you need to pop up, realign the hips and the spine, and then come back down into your seat as our journey continues. You're going to take your left hand and get your hair out of the way. You're going to connect with the top of your trap and your shoulder. So maintain your alignment. Not all of your weight will shift into one sits bone, and you're going to dig in there. See what you find. Listen to any pops and cracks that your body starts to make this morning, still pressing into the tops of the shoulders. This is a very gentle massage that you're giving yourself. Just a few more squeezes. Immediately notice the effects of how much better that shoulder is going to feel when you lightly let go. You're going to reach your left hand out in front of you. Feel the warmth that runs through your shoulder. Now from here, it's a little funky. I call it my barrel of monkey arms. Okay, so you're going to take your arm and you're going to round it over to your right side as if you were giving yourself a hug. So take your left hand, scoop around, and then you're going to take your hand and lift it up on the breath in and down towards the elbow on the breath out. I know it doesn't seem like much. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. Inhale to reach. You're reaching as far as you can. As you exhale, you're dropping down. So it's a very light and easy motion up and down with a deep round in your barrel monkey arm. Okay? And start to listen to any pops and cracks in that shoulder. A little bit deeper of a reach. And then we'll come out and enter back into the pose. So inhale, fly the arm open. Exhale, scoop and round, and then lift and lower. It's kind of like you're holding a wand, a metal detector, and you're scanning your bicep up and down, up and down. And then you're going to release your hand down by the sides, give the shoulders a little shrug, and then we get ready to switch sides. Right hand will come out in front of you. Let's connect with the top of your shoulder. Go ahead and give a press. Yes, this is sensational, but it should not be causing you any pain, right? So just a few more squishes. Notice your dexterity with your shoulders on this side. Perhaps your right shoulder is already a little bit noisy at the start of practice today. You can fly your right arm open, take a breath in, and then take that scoop, that barrel of monkey arm, reach on over, like you're gonna pat your left shoulder, and then you will lightly wave your wand up and down. Three, two, and one. Fly the arm open. We try once more just to go a little bit deeper. Full range of motion. Fly the arm open. Inhale. Exhale. Scoop. Give yourself a tap and lightly hover. It's like you're blessing your body for the rest of the day. We slowly make our way down. And back to center we go. Let's fly both arms open, wingspan nice and wide. We welcome any creativity that comes our way today. As you exhale, give yourself a hug. Imagine your fingertips touching one another. Then let's fold forward. As you exhale, look down to the floor. Keep breathing here. And we release. Sit up tall, fly the arms open, take a breath in, heart expands, and breath out. Hands can rest by the sides. As we travel, next we've got our throat chakra, which is Vishuddha. That's this lighter blue color here. Open communication does not just mean the front line of our neck. When we think about our throat chakra, for some reason, we only think about the front of ourselves. We never think about the back side of our neck when we focus on our throat, but our throat chakra very much so lives on the front line of our body and on the back line of our body. And so I want you today to focus on how much time you spend on your tech device. Now, I know that we all are spending time on our device to be here with one another. So this is unbiased research. Your phone can tell you at the end of the day how many hours that you have spent on your device. And I want you to use that knowledge as power to realize that slowly but surely the alignment of your neck might be shifting and changing because you are on a device 25, 35, 50% more than you were only 2 months ago. And so our throat chakra isn't just for our communication with selves and others, it's also how we hold our head up. Without clear conscious communication and an open throat, we can't access our creativity, we can't access our source of enlightenment, we are stuck. And so let's clear the throat. First thing to do, go ahead and go for it as if you were to Om with me in practice today. Take a big breath in and open mouth, exhale. If this speaks to you, I encourage you to use food as a form of meditation today. A little bit of food for thought. When you are drinking your coffee, your water, your tea, or your meal, take a little extra time today to be conscious when you are eating it. Most of us multitask when we are eating. We are watching TV, we are on the computer, we are out and about. That's okay. No criticism, but assign yourself one meal today where you are not in front of a device. You are seated down like a grown adult to eat a very lovely meal. So go ahead and grab your beverage of choice. I want you to slowly sip and savor and practice full consciousness, not thinking of other things while you chug your water or just because an app has reminded you that it's time to hydrate. I want you to consciously tap in and I want you to go slow. Give yourself about 10 seconds, whether it's water, tea, clear your throat once more, and then I'll meet you here. We breathe in the effects, the gratitude, that we have to be able to have access to such healthy food and hydration in this lifetime. In your seat, use your creativity, gently close your eyes, and see yourself seated at your meal table, your dining room table. And see yourself seated with that loved one that you dedicated your practice to today. I guarantee you that this is a loved one where you can have a fully open throat and heart and mind chakra communication. This is someone who you can easily talk to, someone who knows that they can come to you as well, and you don't feel closed off, restricted, or stifled. You feel welcomed, open, and alive. And as you share that meal with someone, clear your table. Be sure to remove all distractions. Just see you, loved one, in that infinite space of possibility. When your mind starts to wander, be proud that you've noticed, bring it back. We're at the table, seated and grateful. Today, before your next meal, can you take a moment of meditation before you eat? Some pray before they eat. This is a similar meditation. If you enjoy taking a moment to honor something, whether you use the word prayer, meditation, mindfulness, can you thank your meal before it makes its way down? Think about where your food starts, right? Your food enters into the mouth and it starts to travel down the body, quite literally leaves out of the root chakra. So set yourself up for success here when you start to eat, right? First we clear our mental state, and then we clear our throat, and then we ask for easy digestion mentally, physically, spiritually for the rest of the day. When we are all gunked up in the mind, it tends to cause a little bit of irritation and digestive issues for many people, right? So try to clear your top half. We're right at that intersection. So your heart, right smack here in the middle, the green all-giving source. Yogis say that your heart is an extension of your hands. Every life-giving task that we give, whether it's to help one another or to build something with our hands, it comes from an extension of our heart. Our heart directly beats down these limbs and back to that source. So you can think of your cavity anywhere from the top part of your heart where you feel your strong emotions. So top of the chest to probably lower part of the ribs. And we know that our heart is not just our front side, it's our back side too. So you're gonna do opposite hand on top of the other when you give yourself a hug. So that means dominant hand on the bottom. For me, right hand on top. Give yourself a squeeze, and then you're going to take a few barrel rolls, washing machines. Take a few swivels. Still squeezing. 3, 2, and 1. Switch sides, switch your rolls. Don't mind my squeaky chair. One last tight squeeze. Feel the warmth of your hands on you. Fly your arms open. Take a breath in. Open mouth. Exhale. Arms sweep overhead. That's on your breath in. We're going to hold here. Keep breathing. We must drain our lymph nodes. We've got a lot of gunk in our armpits and this whole area. If you are able to keep your arms up and overhead today for a moment or two, if you are busy standing in line and you don't care what other people think, put your arms overhead. It is an awesome way to get a lymphatic drain and to work on our character, right? Arms will sweep overhead, but you gotta relax your shoulders away from the ears. You can even play this with your kids. Time yourself and see who can hold their arms either up and overhead or out in front of you the longest. Let's reach just a bit more. Always freeform movement is welcome. You know this. And you'll keep the arms overhead. Let's say you need to take a break with us today. No worries. Exhale, hands relax down by the sides. If you've got tight shoulders, you are not alone. Just go ahead and lift your arms as high up as you're able to. We're building on. Arms will sweep overhead, turn the hands inside out, lift them up and overhead. Take a breath in. Twist to the right as you exhale. Legs stay the same. Breath in, come back to center. Exhale to take a twist. We take a few more on each side. You've chosen to go slow today. Nice soft eyes. Unfurrow your brow. Unclench your teeth. Keep pushing your hands away from you. One more round on each side. And breath out. Let's bow forward. Drop your hands down to the floor. Drop your head. A nice, gentle Uttanasana. Your heart is laying on top of your thighs. 3, 2, and 1. Sit up nice and tall. Let's cross the legs. You're going to bring your right leg on top of your left. Get yourself nice and comfy. Both sits bones are rooted down to the chair. If this is too tight for you, go ahead and take a figure 4 instead. Do what you can. And once your right leg is on top of your left, sit up nice and tall. Turn the palms face up and focus on your pranayama. We are going to strive for even inhales and exhales. Nice and slow. Join me here. You'll start to breathe in. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, and 3. Folding forward, imagine your third eye center tapping into your kneecap, loving and gentle. A pose where you can quite literally make progress with every breath. If you ever find yourself bored in a forward fold, imagine going deeper on each exhale and start to notice how your body settles in, adapts, and relaxes into your folds. We come out strategically. Inhale, sit up tall, uncross the legs. You can widen through the legs if you need a little bit of wiggle before we switch sides. Still focusing on our heart chakra, our green glowing chakra. That's anahata in Sanskrit. This nice green glow that we have from within. Lightly hold on to your legs and begin to breathe in. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. And bow forward, head drops down to the knee. Notice which side was tighter for you on the sides of your hips when you take this fold. Release the pose. Inhales to sit up tall. Uncross the legs. Take any wiggles that you might need. Option to stand. On the inhale, arms sweep overhead. Press the hips forward on your rise. And exhales to take a seat. To further connect with your heart chakra, one of the mottos and lifestyles that I try to live by is picking something living to eat with my meal at the end of the day. So if you have a garden, if you have rosemary, basil, thyme, or are into maybe edible wildflowers. There's seriously so many things that you can eat that grow outside. If you have that luxury, I highly suggest that you pick something green with your hands and add it into your meal. I really try to do this as often as I can, and it takes me back to my childhood. I remember when my dad would be cooking dinner and he would ask me to go out to the garden and pick whatever, and whether it was snap peas or zucchinis, and I would run out and grab the vegetables and then bring them back in, and that's what we had for our food. Very much so farm to table. This incredible life source, this living food, does so much for our energy and for our clear communication, for our creativity, for our digestion, for our root. If you do not have access to a green for you to add to your meal, then surely you can stop and smell the roses today, because they are blooming everywhere, and roses tie us straight to the heart. So if you can't bring food from the outside in, can you bring a floral arrangement or a leaf mandala or a lovely rose? Can you stop and smell the roses today, bringing something from the outside in to welcome your home into this dining room space? So join me in your seat, let your hands relax, take yourself back to that dining room scene where you're sitting at a table and chairs, about to eat a bountiful meal with your loved one that you dedicated this practice to, and before you lies a beautiful meal. And first things that come to mind, what leafy greens, what vegetables, what produce sits on your table? What flower arrangement sits on your table? Where did you go to look for your herbs and produce to add to your meal? Last few moments for you to sit at that table and to look around. Look down at the surface, feel the wiggle of your toes. Take a look at your loved one. Thank them for joining you for your meal. And you can gently open your eyes. When you're ready to join us, we will proceed traveling on down to our solar plexus chakra. Our solar plexus is a bright yellow glow, and it is the home of our ego. And our ego is an incredibly important part of this human experience. I think our ego gets a bad rap. If you've ever heard sayings like your ego is not your amigo or things like that. When we first get to know our ego, we tend to notice the things that we don't like about it. Same goes for our yoga practice. Much of going to yoga is finding what doesn't work for you, what you don't like, and what doesn't feel good, just as much as it is finding that true sense of self. So when you focus on your ego today, notice if your physical body responds when you can tell that your ego is coming out to play. A good example of that would be if you are competitive. This is a really great example. If you're playing a board game with your family and you're really wanting to win, you're starting to get warm and heated, can you feel any sensations in your lower belly when you're doing this? Are you having a burning inferno inside of you? That's a great way to think about it. Or if you notice an upset stomach after something happens other than food. Regardless of what you're putting in your mouth, if you're noticing that you're having stomach issues, it could be a lack of awareness of what's going on. So when your ego comes out to play, I think that our ego is one of the greatest skills that we have, because it tells you where to go next. If we meet our ego with a lack of kindness, then it's not going to feel very welcome when it comes out to play, and I believe that it should be a welcomed guest in your house. When your ego comes out to play, notice what it's trying to tell you, what is coming to your door that needs your acknowledgement, because that's a really vital life skill. Your ego is built in to take care of yourself, to protect yourself and others. And so it deserves to be acknowledged both on the front side and on the back side. First, we'll take a few cat-cows here. You can hold onto your chair or onto your knees. Just be sure you've got space behind you to exhale, lean back. Inhale, puff the chest forward, and we'll hinge back and forth. Chakra Vakasana. This is cat and cow. Take a few more. And we'll find stillness. Take one hand and bring it to your heart, your Anahata chakra, and then we'll bring one down to our solar plexus, our Manipura chakra. Go ahead and hold these two life sources. Take a moment of stillness. Close the eyes. Eyes flutter open. When you notice that your ego has come out to play, welcome it in like a guest and sit with it for a moment, and know that you are an incredible mirror for those around you when they have trouble with their ego. All of us know that our greatest loved ones are going to be challenged during these times, and can you be a kind and gentle mirror to that loved one to help them point out when their ego comes out to play, when they're stepping out of line, or when they're right on track. Ego can also give us a lot of great confidence. So can you give yourself a little confidence boost today alongside the rest of your loved ones? That person that you dedicated your practice to today, the level of love and inspiration that they give you, so much so that you would dedicate your morning to them. There is someone in this world that feels that exact same way about you. Same level of love, same level of care. I'm one of them as I sit here guiding us through this meditation. Someone who acts with love and servitude for you out of the kindness of their heart. The same feeling that you have for someone else is reciprocated back to you, and we must receive that love. Sometimes our ego can judge who gives us what love and the way in which they give it. But instead, today we are going to fill our cup by being grateful for the love that we have received. This is a great way to transition into our sacral chakra. Let's take another moment of stillness and silence here. If you are feeling unsupported in your back, just go ahead and take a seat back. If your legs are feeling a little stagnant, another way that I like to sit in a chair for long periods of time are my heels together to touch, and then I can stretch the ball mounds of my feet. It's kind of funky. You don't have to sit this way, but this is a good way to open the hips. Really low pressure on the joints. We're going to sit here in silence for about a moment. Let me clear my throat. And as you start to settle on in, your eyes are up to you. You can either find a soft focal point, somewhere to look that won't strain your neck. You can close your eyes really sleepy, like 10% down the tip of your nose, or you can close your eyes. Whatever happens naturally. Some of us like to find a place to look. Welcome yourself back to our meditative state. Your eyes can gently open as you focus on your sacral chakra. Up next, we focus on the orange. So give yourself a comfy seat for now. You're going to take your hands, your fingertips, and you're going to lightly press into the hips. So you can dig your thumbs into the back side, right about where your belt would go. You can take your fingertips and lightly press. If you're familiar where the two lymph nodes are on the sides of your hip bones, you can start to lightly press there. It's just a light awareness. Think of how a cat kind of kneads into you. We're just checking in, giving a little squeeze. This kind of awareness is where you're going to find maybe some extra injuries that you didn't know about. It's kind of like a little self-exam. Sometimes you're not sure if you have a bruise, a lump, a bug bite, a scrape, a pain. And just because we find awareness doesn't mean we're going to like what we notice, but it's what you can do with it for the rest of the day. So if you're squishing around here on your belt line and you're noticing a lot of pain and discomfort, then you can change the course of your day to make yourself a little bit more comfortable wherever you have found that discomfort, whether it's the way you wear your seatbelt, the kind of clothes that you wear today, the foods that you put in your mouth. It's these subtle differences that really help. So last few squeezes, go ahead and go around your belt line, see what you can connect to. Our sacral chakra, Svatisthana, Muladhana Svatisthana. Svatisthana is a sacred bowl. So it is this pelvic bowl that sits inside of us, and it helps with the dexterity of how we split in half, how each leg moves, how we reproduce, how we digest. It's a very important part of connecting from our belly button down to our root. And so as you connect here, bring both hands onto your lower belly, below your belly button. Take a light press. And now on the back side, take your hands, lightly rest them, feel the warmth of your hands as they press through to you. Very important to connect with your physical side. We choose to mimic, to replicate, to reproduce with mindfulness and care for the rest of the day. We set our eyes back to our intention so that we take ourselves straight to our source, straight to our root. Bring your hands together to touch in your Anahata, in your Anjali Mudra, your prayer pose. Go ahead and take your hands up to the third eye. As you exhale, lightly bow to your practice. Sit up nice and tall. Bring the arms overhead. Let's hold them here. You can take confetti fingers. Just go ahead and give your wrists a roll. Arms will stay overhead. You're going to reach for your right wrist. Take a breath in. As you exhale, side stretch. Back to center. We take a breath in. Exhale to switch sides. Back to center. We breathe in. As you exhale, release your hands down by the sides. On the edge of your seat, you're going to take your hands and reach behind you. Try to grab onto either elbow and then sit up as tall as you can. You're going to lean back, puff up the chest, and join me as we travel through our chakras from the root to the crown. If you want to activate your throat chakra further, you are welcome to repeat after me as I will give you time in between each Sanskrit chakra, but if you would prefer to listen You know what's best, what naturally came to you. We start with our root chakra, from our feet to the base of our tailbone, Muladhara. Our sacral chakra between the hips, Svadhisthana. Our solar plexus, Manipura. An open heart chakra, Anahata. Clear and conscious communication with our Vishuddha. Awakened creativity with our third eye, Ajna. Peace, enlightenment, and tapped straight into the divine source, Svadhyaya. Once more, travel down to your root, Muladhara, Svadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddha, Ajna, Svadhyaya. Release your grip, arms will sweep overhead as you breathe in. Fold forward as you breathe out, and you'll hold on to your right foot and you're gonna bring it with you. So bring your right foot on up to your thigh, figure 4 like pose. If your foot is dirty, you are not alone. We must connect with the feet. Take your thumbs, go ahead and give yourself a light squish down the sole of your foot. And we will compare tension. One of the beautiful silver linings of this time that we have spent in quarantine is we are driving a lot less. Most of us are driving a lot less. The collective consciousness is not in the car as much, which means we are not using one foot only multiple times a day to drive. And so less asymmetry in the feet. How lovely it is. When you start driving more frequently, be sure that you are very ergonomic in the way that you sit, in the way that your foot reaches the pedal, so that you don't build up that lopsidedness from driving. Last time I drove a long period of time, I was so sore the next day because I haven't been in a car in so long. I only drive a couple times a week now. So that awareness, that moving meditation involves everything that you do. Whether you're in the car, pushing on your pedal, or leaning on one side of your car, can you choose to sit up nice and tall? Was there any tightness or tension in the sole of your foot? You're gonna let that foot go, wiggle the toes, and then we'll switch out the feet. So left foot will come on top to the thigh. Be sure you're sitting up tall. You're not dumping all of your weight into one cheek. So surf nice and even, and then let's dig the fingertips into this foot. And as you answer these questions within, when is the last time you gave yourself a foot massage? When? When was the last time you gave someone else a foot massage? Do you treat your feet with the love and respect that they deserve? I know you can't go get a pedicure right now, but you can give yourself one, right? Last few pushes into the soles. Any differences on this side? Any effects that sensations in your foot had up through the leg? Not doing anything for you? This is all part of our awareness. Bring your foot down to the floor, and from here we're going to take a good old forward fold with a wider stance. Once you widen your legs, once you find your forward fold, we're going to take our hands and lightly squeeze into the calves. But you need to have a really tight core while doing this. So inhale, sit up nice and tall, puff up your chest, not worried about looking silly. You've got your knees right over your ankles. You're going to start to fold. You could stay here, right? First we'll start with hands on each calf. So take your hands and go ahead and lightly squeeze the backside of your calves, up and down. Working on your flexibility, long spine when you keep folding, no rounding in the back. You'll use your inhale to sit up tall, turn to the right leg, and exhale to fold over. There's still some accountability on this left leg. Try to keep it put as you take both hands, lightly squeeze, 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 calf. We thank our root chakra for taking us where we need to go, for grounding ourselves down, for giving us modes of transportation. Inhales to sit up tall. Exhales to twist to the other leg. Let's take another round of breath. Inhale. Breath out to fold. Hold that right side accountable and give your calves a squeeze. You should also be feeling a stretch in your sciatic nerve and your IT band as you fold on over. Great prep for tying your shoes in a very yoga way. So if you have shoes or laces to tie later today, can you make that part of your moving meditation? We sit up tall on the inhale. Bow forward on the breath out. Use your fingertips or your thighs, and then back of the neck nice and long. Tuck the chin, look down towards the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sit up tall, zip the legs together to touch. Our final little intermission, where you take an opportunity to stand. If you are bound to your seat today, what you can do is recline back. So legs nice and long, lean back and make a nice plank-like stance. Kind of thrust your hips up towards the front of the room and imagine yourself standing. If you're able to come up to the feet, inhale, we rise, press the hips forward, shake out the toes. When you find your seat, we will take the back side of the chair. Be sure that you're fully supported, and thank yourself for the discipline that it takes to find a sacred seat. If you are new to meditation or if you are a long-time practitioner, the most important step is setting aside the time for the meditation. Some days you will effortlessly slip into a state of silence and peace, and there will be other days where you need a moving meditation or something we call a kriya, something to chew on, food for thought, to help you get to your meditative state. So never give yourself a hard time if you need rituals, movement, creativity, chopping vegetables, cooking in the kitchen, going on a run, something to activate the meditative state. It doesn't always come easily, but we still do it anyway. These last few moments with one another, we will be in silence, and I suggest that you bring your eyes closed so that when we take this time with one another, you are visiting the dining room table that you have started with. Anything that you want to notice, whether it's the grain of the table, the legs of the people underneath the table, the plates, the food on the plate, who you would love to have over for dinner today if you were able to. I find it so magical to bring in all of your bounty, your Thanksgiving, into a visual, to spend some time around that table, And then see how many connections you have with those people later today. How special it is when we send a love beam straight from our heart to someone else. The chances of them reaching out to us or coming back into conversation for the rest of the day tends to happen. So what wonderful souls and what wonderful positivity do you want to be surrounded with for the rest of the day? I would certainly like to think of all of my yogis sitting at the table today, how great it would be for us to share a meal after this meditation with one another. So find your seat, lean back. For your hands, I'm going to offer what we call Ramadasa Sase Sohang. No need to remember all of that. It really is a light tapping of the fingertips. So with Rama Dasa and Sase Sohang, this is a count of 4. So keep it simple. We take the thumb and we tap it into the pointer finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky. Pinky, ring finger, middle finger, and pointer. So see how we start to travel each fingertip at a time. This is a great way to keep the mind busy. Some like to recite the chant, Rama, Da, Sa, Sa, Se, So, Hung. However, you can do just a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. So, eyes gently, softly close. I will guide us through the first round, and then you will take it away to the best that you can. Gently start to breathe in, thumb to pointer, thumb to ring, thumb to middle, thumb to pinky. Take a breath out. Tap from pinky, ring finger, middle finger, pointer. Pointer, middle finger, ring finger, pinky. Pinky, ring finger, middle finger, index. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ra, ma, da, sa. Sa, se, so, hung. Ra, ma, da, sa. Sa, se, so, hung. Ra, ma, da, sa. Sa, se, so, hung. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your hands to heart center. Find stillness. Thank yourself for the discipline that it takes to arrive onto the mat. From our root to our crown, we have set ourselves up for success for the rest of the day. Breathing life into the body, inhale. Open mouth, exhale. As the light, the teacher in me is so honored to guide the teacher, the light in you, namaste. Thank you, yogis. Please share with me your dining room table experience, and I will connect below with the Ramadasa Sase Sohang meditation for you. If that spoke to you, I highly suggest you integrate it into your life. Have a wonderful day, yogis. Okay, I hear you. Okay. Come here. Oh, you knocked it over.